courtroom exploded in drama as Chicago rapper Lil Durk, who was already facing serious murder-for-hire allegations, broke down upon learning he would not be posting bail. Durk was astounded by the startling news, but the ramifications are beyond his comprehension. This could indicate that Durk's profession, family, and future are all in jeopardy because he won't be leaving until trial. The judge's ruling demonstrates how serious this case has gotten given the accusations of high-profile feuds, vengeance plans, and an attempted escape plan. Lil Durk was not granted bail. The career and reputation of Chicago rapper Lil Durk, whose true name is Durk Devontae Banks, are in jeopardy due to a murder-for-hire charge. Federal investigators detained Durk in Florida on October 24th, claiming that he planned to assassinate fellow rapper Quando Rondo in retaliation for his close friend's death in 2020. And prosecutors say Durk went so far as to place a bounty on Rondo's head, with flights and expenses for the hit funded by credit cards linked to Durk's rap crew, Only the Family, OTF. The hip-hop community has been shocked by the case, and it's obvious that the stakes are high because the court has now denied him bail. Lil Durk's alleged attempt to flee the country prior to his detention is one of the main reasons the judge denied him bail. According to the affidavit, Durk made a number of calculated travel reservations in an attempt to divert the federal authorities' attention, which prosecutors contend shows a clear intention to escape. According to the FBI, Durk reserved one-way flights to Dubai and Switzerland, and when that didn't work, he reportedly tried to book a private jet to Italy. Another getaway that failed as agents closed in on him at Miami's Opa-locka Executive Airport just an hour before departure. Federal authorities saw these attempts as a clear signal that Durk would continue to dodge the law if released, making him too much of a flight risk. According to an FBI source, it was a calculated move, as Durk allegedly believed he could evade U.S. jurisdiction by crossing borders. After considering this, the judge determined that the best way to stop Durk from escaping again was to keep him in detention. There is more to Durk's arrest on murder-for-hire accusations. It's a part of a bigger story that connects him to Chicago's continuing gang conflicts. Authorities suspect that this murder-for-hire scheme was hatched as part of a fierce gang conflict in the city that has resulted in the deaths of other rappers. Unsettlingly, this case is related to a previous lawsuit against Durk for the 2020 murder of FBG Duck, another rapper from Chicago. That lawsuit claims that Lil Durk and his group increased the lethal rivalry between the Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples on Chicago's South Side by placing a $100,000 bounty on FBG Duck. The family of FBG Duck has launched a new lawsuit that further damages Durk's reputation. It charges him, big record labels, and OTF with financially stoking street feuds and making money off of diss tunes that incited violence. The lawsuit doesn't stop at Durk and OTF. It calls out big players in the music industry, alleging they bankrolled Durk's activities, intentionally signing artists with gang ties and using violent beefs to generate sales. It's a grim reminder that Durk's career has long walked a tightrope between the streets and the music industry, and his choices could now cost him dearly. Additionally, the civil suit depicts FBG Duck's awful demise. Duck received 16 gunshot wounds after being wounded outside a Dolce & Gabbana boutique in the posh Gold Coast section of Chicago. His family claims that first responders failed to offer life-saving aid, leaving Duck to bleed out on the street. The suit accuses not only Durk and OTF, but also the city's emergency response teams of negligence, adding another layer of complexity to the case. For prosecutors, these accusations show a pattern in Durk's behavior, reinforcing the idea that releasing him would be a threat to public safety. Despite the heavy accusations and his denial of bail, Durk isn't facing this alone. With his father attending the court proceedings and his girlfriend India Royale by his side, his family has demonstrated significant support. When India, who has been with Durk since 2017, was seen outside the courtroom, admirers reacted by praising her devotion. One fan commented, "A real one needs that kind of woman," while another said, "Let's see if she'll stick to him during this hard time." Zayden Banks, Durk's son, also defended his father's morals on social media. "He's always dedicated his life to uplifting others," Zayden wrote on Instagram. "Beyond that, he's a great father who's always supported and loved our family unconditionally." These outward manifestations of support show how a family is sticking together despite Durk going through some of his worst moments. Big Durk, Durk's father, who has also served time in prison, is supporting and encouraging his son during this difficult period. Durk may find some solace in having a family member who has experienced the system, but it also emphasizes the generational cycles he is attempting to overcome. According to insiders, Lil Durk is presently being housed at a federal detention center in Miami and is getting used to life behind bars. Durk is apparently in high spirits and getting along well with both the guards and other prisoners, according to TMZ. Insiders familiar with the prison environment describe him as super chill, despite the fact that he doesn't particularly enjoy the cuisine served there. He is known for his charm. Fans are intrigued by a recent song from fellow Chicago rapper and OTF affiliate Hypno Carlito. In the song Where Smirk Go, Carlito added what he says is a phone call that Durk made while incarcerated. Hypno Carlito, my brother from another forever. Legend OTF, and I take your fucking streets over. You know what time it is? Rest in peace, the voice says, allegedly belonging to Durk. Reactions to the song were immediate. Some fans questioned its legitimacy and speculated that it might have been created by artificial intelligence. Others criticized Carlito for potentially clout-chasing by using Durk's incarceration as a way to promote his music. However, whether the song is contrived or real, it just serves to heighten the drama around Durk's current predicament, keeping him relevant on the streets despite his incarceration. Durk now faces an arduous legal battle while incarcerated after the judge denied bail. His options are limited, and the court's decision to keep him locked up suggests that prosecutors have serious evidence to present. The next few months will be critical as Durk's team scrambles to build a defense strong enough to counter the prosecution's claims. Lil Durk's future appears to be difficult. The prosecution has brought serious allegations against him, and a conviction might result in a lengthy prison sentence. A detailed dive into Lil Durk's charges. In the world of rap, few names are as synonymous with the streets of Chicago as Lil Durk. Known for blending hard-hitting lyrics with raw emotion, Durk has carved out a niche that positions him both as an artist and, to some, a symbol of resilience. Yet beneath the music lies a web of legal trouble that has now ensnared him in a serious federal investigation. The recent indictment against Durk, real name Durk Banks, sheds light on a world far removed from the recording studio, one where alliances, vendettas, and betrayal shape a narrative that reads like a thriller. The roots of Durk's legal troubles date back to 2020, when a highly publicized feud erupted between Durk's rap collective Only the Family, OTF, and a rival faction. This feud took on new intensity after the murder of Davon Bennett, also known as King Von, who was not only an OTF artist, but also Durk's close friend. King Von's death ignited a vendetta between OTF and a rival rapper known as Quando Rondo, who was rumored to be connected to Von's killer. The indictment against Durk alleges that this feud boiled over to the point where he sought to eliminate his adversary, Quando Rondo, by any means necessary. Investigators have been informed by witnesses and secret sources that Durk allegedly placed a bounty on Quando Rondo's life because he was determined to see his rival die. This bounty would start a series of events that would culminate in a violent confrontation at a gas station in Los Angeles and a federal investigation. Tragic events occurred on August 9, 2022, when a gas station close to Los Angeles' Beverly Center was hit by a barrage of gunfire. 3 masked gunmen opened fire on a black Cadillac Escalade that Quando Rondo and his family were in, according to surveillance footage, police reports, and witness statements. When Rondo managed to flee, the gunshot killed his cousin, Saviaya Lil Pob Robinson, according to court records. As evidence of the attack's extreme brutality, police found 18 shot casings at the scene. When it became apparent that this was not a random incident of gang violence, Durk's name became a key character in the inquiry. Law authorities found links that suggested Durk and members of his OTF circle were responsible for the alleged careful planning. Investigators have uncovered financial records that show a well-planned scheme, with money being taken from Durk's company to finance the attack. The document states that on August 18, 2022, the day before the shooting, a number of important OTF members, including those designated as Co-Conspirator 2 and Co-Conspirator 3, traveled to California based on bank and airline records. Documents show that an American Express card associated with Durk and OTF was used to pay for these flights. Text communications exchanged between Durk and his accomplices were also discovered by investigators. Don't book no flights under no names involved with me. Durk allegedly warned Co-Conspirator 3 in one message. This instruction was intended to reduce any paper trail that might link Durk directly to the plot. Additionally, surveillance footage showed how 2 white cars, a BMW and an Infiniti, followed Quando Rondo's Escalade around Los Angeles. These vehicles were subsequently connected to Durk's accomplices, who had traveled from Chicago to execute the hit. But the blatant assault at the gas station did not go unreported. A wide range of arrests resulted from increased surveillance of Durk and his colleagues by federal and local law enforcement. By October 24, 2024, 5 Chicago gang affiliates and OTF members had been taken into custody. Kayvon Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay, and Asa Houston were among the individuals accused of conspiring to commit murder for hire. The FBI became aware of Durk's own attempts to escape as they moved in. As stated by U.S. within hours after his companion's detention, he booked 3 different overseas flights with Customs and Border Protection, CBP. The locations, Dubai, Switzerland, and Italy, were crucial because they would make it more difficult for American authorities to seek extradition. However, before he could board any of the aircraft, the FBI arrested him, sealing his doom and solidifying the legal case that would shortly surface. OTF, the collective that Durk has led as a rap group and a representation of Chicago's street culture, was harshly exposed by the probe. But according to the indictment, OTF is not just a music group. According to law enforcement, OTF is a association in fact, essentially operating as a criminal syndicate that commits crimes ranging from murder to assault. According to government records, members are supposed to obey Durk's orders and use violence to uphold their status and standing within the organization. According to court records, co-conspirator 3, an OTF member, allegedly played a key role in setting up the murder-for-hire plot's logistics, including booking travel and lodging and purchasing equipment for the hit. Using funds from OTF's American Express accounts, he served as a coordinator. In the days preceding the shooting, Durk was in California, staying in an Encino rental home with important OTF Circle members. Co-conspirator 3 allegedly organized travel, lodging, and car rentals for Durk and OTF according to records, strengthening the network of evidence that prosecutors would later construct around the rapper. Nevertheless, in the midst of the growing accusations and layers of evidence, a fresh discovery surfaced that would shatter Durk's argument. Rumors of betrayal have surfaced within the close-knit OTF circle from a reliable associate who, although operating in the background of Durk's inner circle for years, was also giving information to the federal government. OTF shows signs of treachery. It seems that loyalty is crucial in the rap game. However, betrayal from his own crew, OTF, only the family, has turned Lil Durk's world upside down, revealing fissures that no one anticipated. The reports that someone close to Durk, a trusted member, has been working with the government, sneaking insider knowledge about OTF's activities and laying up a case against the rapper himself, are apparently confirmed by his recent indictment on murder-for-hire charges. Lil Durk has been hinting at devotion and keeping an eye on his back for some time if you pay close attention to his rhymes. Songs like Palin and Code are replete with phrases that allude to a potential threat inside his circle, stories of friends betraying one another, and coded communications. These were cautions, not merely folktales. Durk appeared plagued by the fear that someone close to him may turn on him, even as he rose through the charts and became well known. These lyrics seemed different in light of the recent accusations and indictments, suggesting that Durk may have sensed the betrayal but was unaware of how close it would come. Rap icon 50 Cent, who has his own history of industry strife and treachery, noticed something wasn't right with OTF and didn't keep it to himself. The two had collaborated on Power Powder Respect, the theme song for Power Book 4, Force, D, spin-off set in Chicago. In a recent interview on The Breakfast Club, 50 recalled the counsel he'd offered Lil Durk as the murder-for-hire investigation heated up. Just watch your crew! While working together on the 2022 project, 50 saw a concerning energy within OTF. I was like, yo, this is them. Just watch him, his crew, 50 remarked during the interview. It was a gut feeling from someone who has witnessed how entourages can become lethal, not just a casual caution.
When you said that to Durk, what was his response to you?
He said, you know what? He said, somebody just came in my house. How do they know exactly what the address is? I don't give my address to nobody.
In response, Durk said that something odd had already occurred. According to 50, Durk's doubts were heightened by the incident, particularly after his Brazelton, Georgia home was broken into in 2021, while he and his then-girlfriend, India Royale, were inside. They managed to get away unscathed, but Durk was troubled that others knew where he was. The tipping point. This feeling of betrayal was real. It wasn't simply conjecture. For 50, it brought back memories of his own time when he kept a careful eye on his staff and questioned their actions. He clarified, I've always had that energy myself in the middle of everything going on, implying that Durk might need to adopt a similar posture to defend himself. He even made the joke, if you got pulled over and you're not in jail, why are you not in jail? It was obvious that there was a problem in Durk's camp. One man in particular is mentioned in the rumors, OTF Jam. Jam, a long-standing OTF member, was incarcerated for more than 10 years on a charge of attempted murder, an act that allegedly solidified his allegiance to the group. However, following his release in 2022, there have been rumors that Jam turned on federal authorities by wearing a wire and providing them with information on OTF's operations. It's not merely rumors. According to sources, Jam allegedly offered concrete proof that connected Durk to a conspiracy to kill musician Quando Rondo, real name Tiquian Bowman. Chicago rapper King Yella claims that Jam even accused Durk of killing Rondo's cousin Lil Pab, a hit allegedly carried out in vengeance for the death of Durk's close friend and OTF member King Von. What began as a friendship between street brothers soon turned into one of the greatest betrayals in rap history. Following the incident, both fans and hip-hop insiders began to piece together the riddle. The controversy was heightened by a video that included Chicago-based reporter Trenches, News and DJ Academics. In the video, Academics talked about claims that Jam's baby mom had contacted Durk to ask for a lawyer and aid with legal fees. Jam felt betrayed and saw Durk's alleged dismissal of the call as disrespectful. Jam allegedly said, "You're not supposed to brush off my call when I need something," since he was upset that Durk wasn't being faithful. The claim was confirmed by Trench's News, which stated, "That's facts," implying that Jam's choice to assist the feds may have been influenced by his resentment of Durk. Another startling development was when Wack 100, a prominent figure in the music business, commented on Jam's transition from street to snitch. According to Wack 100, Jam used to seem like a respectable, street-loyal man who completed his work without saying anything. He did 12 years, got out, interviewed, said he kept it real. Brought him cars, gave him $50,000, made mention that ain't no smudge on his name, he ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he flipped, Wack said. Jam supposedly provided the feds with a playbook, a comprehensive analysis of OTF's tactics, so his knowledge wasn't just idle chatter. According to the indictment, Durk and his group planned the murder for hire via coded communications. In an attempt to maintain the operation's integrity, Durk allegedly contacted co-conspirator 3 to advise him to be cautious when booking flights under specific names. In order to maintain a low profile, the indictment even detailed how OTF's credit cards were used to finance travel, hotel stays, and rental cars, all of which were booked under false identities. Before the strike that killed Lul Pab, surveillance footage showed OTF affiliates pursuing Rondo in Los Angeles. However, none of this was sufficient to divert Jam's attention. Jam handed investigators a blueprint of OTF's actions, including the specifics of which cars were rented and which flights were scheduled, while allegedly wearing a wire and recording everything. Every action, transaction, and discussion that Jam captured was part of the case that ultimately brought Durk and OTF to their knees. Recalling his early days with Durk, DJ Jerry Jam talked about how Durk's music helped him stay grounded during his 12-year incarceration. "I remember Durk was making rap songs for our parties," he said, portraying Durk as a leader who brought OTF together and boosted his people. "That was bro, back before the fame and the money. He made a way for me to be straight." Jam talked about the happy times, the times when he and Durk were brothers. However, Jam's loyalty was not maintained by all of this history. According to rumors, he flipped after Durk failed to show him the allegiance he believed he was due. Jam made a decision that exposed Durk to one of the most severe betrayals in the rap industry, regardless of whether he felt ignored or insulted. Lil Durk will have to battle for a future that now doesn't appear good because of the events that have occurred since his arrest, on top of the heartache of being deceived by someone he thought of as a close friend. Lil Durk's future prospects. Lil Durk's recent arrest has completely upended his career and sparked a flurry of rumors and conjecture, particularly on TikTok, where the Chicago rapper may be sentenced to death. Some TikTok users, like Indecisive Quan, posted memes and comments claiming that Durk's fate was sealed, saying things like, "YB in jail, Thug in jail, Durk getting the electric chair. Who are we going to listen to now?" The posts went viral, fueling concerns and sparking debates among Durk's fans in the hip-hop community. Let's be clear from the outset, Lil Durk is not going to be put in an electric chair. Although there is no official statement or court decision indicating Durk is considering the death penalty, the rumors may be useful talking points. The reality is actually very different. While fans might be worried about Durk's fate, California, where Durk is facing the charge, hasn't used the electric chair for years. Back in 2006, federal courts ruled against capital punishment, and Governor Gavin Newsom placed a full moratorium on the death penalty in 2019. Therefore, despite what TikTok may suggest, Durk is not going to be executed. Durk's legal troubles have triggered a cascade of fallout. In recognition of his achievements through his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation, the Illinois hamlet of Broadview awarded him an honorary key to the city just 1 week prior to his arrest. But once news of his arrest hit, the honor was swiftly revoked. Broadview's Mayor Katrina Thompson didn't hold back, saying, "While the American system of justice grants everyone the presumption of innocence, in the village of Broadview, the court of public opinion has even higher moral and ethical standards." To protect the village's reputation, they cut ties with Durk and his foundation. For Durk, this revocation wasn't just symbolic, it was a hard hit to the image he's been working to build. The Neighborhood Heroes Foundation has been a big part of his push to show a different side of himself, the side that's about giving back. and being a positive influence. But in the court of public opinion, especially with these serious charges looming, that good image is hanging by a thread. There are more repercussions from Durk's arrest than merely revoked accolades and fan conjecture. Durk has also been active in Chicago politics, particularly after donating $150,000 to the campaign committee of Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. Many have questioned whether the mayor should return the donation in light of Durk's detention. However, Mayor Johnson refrained from passing judgment and carefully considered what to say when questioned. Mayor Johnson's remark, "You're asking me to make a judgment on a black man before a full trial has actually come to fruition. I hope you do understand why it is not mine," draws attention to a more serious problem with hip-hop's impact on Chicago. Politics. Durk has been more than just a musician. Prior to making the donation, he had 2 meetings with Johnson. Whether Durk can maintain these political connections or if they begin to fall apart could now determine his destiny. Throughout his career, Lil Durk has had to strike a balance between his street persona and his advocacy for social change. Although he has a history of legal issues, this most recent charge is the most serious to date. Over the years, Durk has made an effort to change his image. He raps about wanting to transform the image in his 2023 Grammy-winning song All My Life, implying that he will be more than just a street rapper in the future. In order to raise awareness of social issues and financial literacy in Chicago, he has organized events, collaborated with well-known organizations like Bank of America, and employed his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. However, all of that could be derailed by this most recent example. Even while his supporters are still in his favor, institutions and prominent figures may be reluctant to stick with him given the high risks. Durk's future now rests on his ability to overcome these accusations, or whether he will face a protracted and difficult judicial battle. Click on the videos that are currently displayed on your screen to view more stuff similar to this.